What's going on, guys? Big up to Hex here, coming at you with a game of Hardpoint on the map Riot from the new game that's coming out very, very soon, Advanced Warfare, which is the newest iteration of Call of Duty. And I wanted to give you guys my thoughts on a couple of things, right? The way the game looks to me, my impressions on them, my first impressions on it, sniping, and obviously esports, which is something that I'm very involved with, as you guys know. And I mean that with sniping too, because just because we don't have a sniper team, I still do snipe. So it's very important to me that the sniper continues to stay, you know, at least consistent to what it has been in the past, right? So we're gonna get it started. As you're gonna see here, we're gonna pick the MORS sniper rifle with the Ironsights, which is a feature that I'm very, very excited to see come back, right? We've always been very skeptical, well, I have been very skeptical on whether or not the Call of Duty was going to come back and iterate this feature. I think it's amazing. I think that it's something that should be put into norm with Call of Duty. But we'll talk a little bit about that. And I know that you guys, with sniping, it's still a little bit of a sore issue with you guys because I haven't brought back the sniper rifle, or there's been no talk of whether or not I'm gonna bring the sniper rifle, the sniper team back, right? And if you guys have any questions as to my reasoning why we don't have a sniper team yet, I think that you should go back and look at my previous video to hopefully get a better understanding as to my decision and why I'm doing that. But for now, let's talk a little bit about the sniper rifle, and let's talk about Call of Duty as a whole, right? Because we were just having a discussion in the Old Men of Optic thread whether or not Call of Duty has been the most evolutionary game out, made. Now, again, we're talking about a first-person shooter that has been very, very evolutionary, and it has had, an evolution that has been sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worst. But overall, we're not talking about innovation, right? Because innovation, I think we're always gonna have to agree that Counter-Strike has always been, the mother of all FPS shooters, and then we have Call of Duty, replicating some of the amazing work that development company did with Counter-Strike. But as far as evolution goes, I think that, and I know this, right, because I've been playing Call of Duty since Call of Duty 2, and I know like the features that we had back then in comparison to what it is right now, and maybe that's one of the main reasons why I like Ironsight's sniping so much, because it just touched, it has this melancholic feeling, right? It has this reminiscent essence of Call of Duty 2 at its purest form, and it's a baby, right? It was a baby that has now matured into this amazing thing where you get amazing care packages from the sky, and then once you receive this big ball of metal from the sky, you open it up and you get to rain down laser beams to kill people. I mean, we didn't have that in Call of Duty 2. We didn't have that in Call of Duty 4, and it wasn't until Modern Warfare 2 that we really started seeing some really outrageous kill streaks, and whether or not that was for the better, that's still to be discussed. I enjoyed them. Some competitive people didn't enjoy them, but overall, I think that as long as we continue to push forward and find a happy medium between serious gamers and casual gamers, no scope with the no scope, I think that we're gonna be in a good path. So for now, I don't have any really harsh judgments or any harsh criticism against this game. I always do a good job of playing the game myself before I make any assumptions or any judgment on whether or not the game's going to be good. But from what I see here, I see a beautiful thing. And to give you guys a disclaimer here, this gameplay was obtained by Black ESP. It's Blackbird, that's his name. He is our community manager slash manager of operations for Optic ESP. Optic ESP, if you guys didn't know, is a community-based channel on on Spanish, the language. So they upload videos from Spanish or Spaniards, Latin American dudes. It's pretty awesome. It has a very, very good track record. Gets a good amount of views, and overall the community, the Spanish community, is very happy with it. So I'm happy with it. But he obtained this game at Gamescom. He said, you know what, I know that you like the Ironsight, so I'm going to give this to you, this sniper gameplay. Hopefully you can give us your thoughts once you look at the game. And again, going back to my thoughts on it, I think that, like I said a minute ago, I see this beautiful game that is just waiting for me to put my hands on it, and you're gonna see a lot of sniper gameplays. Even though we don't have a sniper team, guys, I want you guys to understand that sniping will always be my passion. Whether or not I have a team of people that are doing montages or not, that's something completely different, because you can snipe and still have a passion for it, right? There's people like Pamash who have left the sniper team, and there's other people that just do commentaries and are just good with the sniper. It's just another weapon, right? And it just, to me, happens to be one of those weapons that I've always had an affinity for, right? Something that I've always loved. So sniping to me is always going to be an important part of Call of Duty, whether or not I have a sniper team or not. I'm a sniper, and that's what I am. and that's what it is. And I'm pretty sure that I don't have to justify myself to anyone because I've been sniping since Call of Duty 2, and that is what it is. All right, so now moving on to esports, since we're on the topic of hardpoint and we're playing hardpoint on this particular map. Overall, I see that there are 3 main lanes to this map, which makes it a little bit more esports friendly, which is amazing, right? You always want to have some sort of symmetry or some sort of equal playing ground where one side is not more powerful than the other. Now, I understand the game hasn't been played enough to give, you know, pro players or people that play the game a lot a chance to exploit certain positioning on the map, certain power positions on the map. So we'll wait for that. But overall, the fact that they are bringing back hardpoint, I think, is very, very important. It's an exciting game, and it's a very, very balanced game. It takes a lot of strategy to be moving back and forth. The fact that they announced from the get-go, you know, an esports initiative where they're going to be supporting it's amazing. Now, as an esports enthusiast for Call of Duty, I understand that it is a very, very small minority of people still that play Call of Duty as an esport or take Call of Duty as an esport, right? Because Call of Duty, above anything else, is a very, very fun, casual game where you and your friends can become a team, a clan, and have a ton of fun. I mean, that's how we started, right? I used to get home and play Call of Duty with my team, have a, you know, mess around and shoot the shit while we shoot some shit. And have a good time. I never thought that it would become such a serious thing for me, but now that it has, I feel as though, you know, it is a responsibility that I have put up on myself to make sure that I take advantage of every single opportunity that's there with it and grow with it, help it grow, right? I'm not gonna just sit here and be silent. I'm not gonna sit here and not offer my advice, not offer my points of view on something that I'm very passionate about. I've never been that type of person. There's a triple. First triple ever, bullet penetration, triple kill, first place kill. The medals are back, which is amazing. One shot, one kill. I mean, you just got a whole bunch of medals there, Blackbird. So that's pretty good. Now, getting back to the topic of esports, I think that it's very important the fact that Sledgehammer is taking an interest or taking the time to listen to pro players, taking the time to listen to, you know, certain individuals within the community, right? I know that Nate was invited, Big Timer was invited to the studios, and so was Rambo, right, from Envy. So it's not just Optic that's putting their input, right? It's a whole community of people, because just because we're the biggest team doesn't necessarily mean that we, you know, everything should be like, you know, what we think it should be, right? It's a community for a reason, and everybody should have their say. And I think that Sledgehammer is very, very good and very aware of that particular fact, which is why not only do they invite you know, 2 people from one team, but they invited out, you know, 2 people from 2 different teams. Because I know Hastra was out there giving them advice on certain things, and esports guys, again, like, and I continue to go back to this because we're still small, right? Like, in the grand scheme of things, we're still pretty small, but it's growing, and it's growing amazingly fast, and you know, it's fun, right? I've always had this relationship with competitive Call of Duty because that's where I started, right? I started by reffing competitive Call of Duty 2 matches for a website, and then, you know, I started to evolve as a person, as the game started to evolve as a franchise. So I think that the fact that they're taking the time to talk to pro players, they're taking the time to have a person specifically talking about esports and making sure that everything that it is that we need in esports is being put in there at the time of release. There's no, you know, we're gonna wait for you guys to get a LAN setting like other development companies have done. And I'm not taking jabs at anyone, right? I think that Treyarch did, like, was the first one, and vastly had a lot to do with the fact that David Vonderhaar, like, really got it, right? Like, the passion that the Call of Duty esports community showed at an MLG event when Vonderhaar was there was just, like, was what triggered him into saying, it's like, you know what, there's a small community here that needs support, right? Because if it grows big enough, we're gonna be able to compete with other major esports, and why not, right? If your game naturally evolved into an esport thing, I think that it is your responsibility as a development company to really take into account that specific thing, right? That really take into account that, you know, there's something there, and spectators, you know, love to see it. And I think that as a community, right, as a YouTube community, as a streaming community, as a Call of Duty, you know, subculture, I think that is very important that they listen to our voice and they listen to us loud, right? Because we're gonna be boisterous. You mess something up, we're gonna call you out on it because, you know, you're supposed to be responsible for the game that you put out. But like I said, I think Treyarch did an amazing job in listening to the community, and I know now that Sledgehammer is here and have shown what they've shown. I think that we are in good hands here. We're going to be in good hands until the next iteration of Call of Duty, and we'll see how this year goes. But I think that this upcoming year with the crazy new additions of verticality and the different game modes that are being added, I think that we are moving in the right direction, like we have been in the last couple of years for Call of Duty, and we've had amazing growth, right? And I'm talking about everybody, not just Optic as a whole. I'm talking about Call of Duty esports as a whole. I mean, the community is bigger than ever, and we're going to continue to grow. And I know that I've been rambling on over and over, but, you know, I only have 10 minutes to talk about a game that I'm very passionate about on many different fronts, right? On the sniping that you're seeing right here, and then this little sub-sniping thing, which is the Ironsight sniping. For me, we have esports and we have Hardpoint, right? An esports game mode that really propelled Call of Duty esports to the next level. So, I'll leave you guys with a question, right? What are some of the features? And you guys have seen this, right? You're seeing it now, and you've seen it when they were doing the reveals. What are some of the things that you are most excited about? And I'm not asking for a full paragraph. If you choose to write one, then I appreciate it. But you know, a simple answer, right? Whether it's esports, sniping, anything, let me know in the comment section. Until next time, as always, this has been your friend Optic Hacks. I'm out.